Keep those hands together for the 9th storyteller of the night, Paul Walters. Where are you? You look good.
2010, I'm 42 years old, and I decide to take up road cycling. I buy a Cannondale Candy Apple Red bike, and I name her Candy. My wife's name is Brandy. She's the other woman. So I get a pair of cycling shorts. I get the bib kind that look like overalls with what my wife calls a diaper on the bottom. And then I shave my legs. First time I do it, I leave a 6-inch gash up my shin, which I explain away as like an accidental gardening accident kind of thing. And then I have to train. So I find Sufferfest, and I become a Sufferlandrian, a citizen of that great nation where we embrace agony, misery, and suffering for the honor and glory of our nation, and we valiantly and heroically vanquish our foes, the evil and dreaded Couchlandrians. We've all been there. So now that I've got all this going, and my friend tells me this is like the nerdiest cycling club in the world, but that's all good. So now that I've got all this going, I need an event, and I find the Tour de Cure. The Tour de Cure raises funds to help and cure diabetes, which is one of the diseases I don't have, so I'm kind of ambivalent about it. But the event is a 100-mile ride, which I want to do, and the minimum fundraising is only $200. And I'm figuring $200, that's not bad. You know, if I don't raise the money, I can even just write the check, so it's all good. But I do well at fundraising. In fact, I do so well at fundraising, I get invited to another ride the week before the big ride. And this is a ride with like 40 or 50 people in it. Now, I've never really ridden with groups before, and I figure there's like instructional videos on YouTube somewhere on how to do this, but I don't have time for this. And really, what could go wrong? What's the worst that could happen? It's all good. So the big cherry on the top of this ride Sunday, though, is that I get to ride with Chris Horner and Levi Leipheimer. Now, these guys are heroes of the cycling sport. They're not the guys that win the races. They're the guys that make it possible for somebody else to win the race, right? They're the ones that sacrifice their own race for the team captain to be able to succeed. They're like the offensive line in football, right, who protect the quarterback. No glory, but if they're not there, that quarterback is toast. These are the guys who will sacrifice everything to get almost to the finish, only to blow up horribly so that the champion can win, right? These are the guys who, when their team leader gets a flat tire, they stop, wait for him, and lead him back. Because in cycling, if you follow someone, you can coast while they're just in horrible misery. It's a beautiful thing. And these are the kind of guys that I get to ride with. And I show up for the day, and it's awesome. I get a Tour de Cure jersey. Chris and Levi sign it. I get my picture taken with them, right? It is the only time I've had my picture taken with two professional athletes, and I look like I could be the starting middle linebacker for the Detroit Lions. Or even a real football team. These guys are tiny. They're just waifs. So we're out on our ride, and it is awesome. And Chris is chattering away, telling stories about riding and how when you're in the Alps, you want to be on the top of in the front of the group because then you get the cold cokes when you're going for the descent. And I can see how like his left foot is kind of tweaked out a little bit, and I'm thinking about his pedal setup. And then I'm talking to this guy Jim in the back, and we're chatting a little bit. And he's a newbie too. I can tell he doesn't know much about what's going on, and we're having a good time. And Jim pulls a camera out of the back pocket of his jersey, starts taking pictures. And he goes to put the camera back, and he bobbles it, and it falls onto the pavement. Well, Jim's not that strong a rider. I can tell this from our conversations, and I am a Sufferlandrian. And I think now's my chance. I can drag him back. I can pace Jim back because we're only like 15 miles into this 40-mile ride. And if he ends up dropped off the back of this group that's going at like 22 miles an hour, he's never going to catch him alone. And then he's got to ride alone for 25 miles. And that's not the point of the day at all. But I can save the day. I've got the chance. I have the strength and the power and everything with me. So I stop and I go, Jim, let's go. And he's got my wheel, and we're flying. We go a couple miles down the road. We still haven't caught him yet, but I know we're closing, and we're going. And then the next series of events happen faster than you can tell it, because I see this arrow on the ground pointing to the right. And in that moment, I know that there's a right-hand turn coming up, and that's where the group is going. And I don't even think or do anything. I just react. And I lean to the left because I got to hit that turn a little wide because we're going so fast because I'm amazing. And as I do this, as I lean out, Jim thinks mistakenly, that I am going wide so he can come through and I can follow him for a bit. So as I lean back into the turn, he hits me at and we're going like 25 miles an hour, and I'm on the deck, scraping across the asphalt, shoulder jerseys torn out, my hips bleeding, my shoulders bleeding, my ankles bleeding, my knees bleeding, and I'm thinking, maybe I should have watched one of those videos. Maybe it could have helped me somehow. And I'm picking gravel out of my shoulder, collecting water bottles, and we go limping up a little bit, and we ride. My bike's still okay. My bike's okay. Don't worry. Thanks for asking. And we ride a couple miles up, and we get a couple miles up. I look up, and there's a picnic shelter. And the whole freaking group is stopped at 20 miles for a break halfway through. I didn't even need to do any of this. He would have caught him right back up. And I look, and there's Chris and Levi surrounded by all these riders, and I'm bloody and torn up and everything. And I know they're thinking, keep that guy the hell away from me, because he's dangerous. And it's June, and July's the Tour de France, and he could screw up my whole season. And I'm looking at those guys, and I'm thinking, I just wanted to save the day. I just wanted to be like you. Thank you.